The Mona Lisa is just a painting that got lucky. Marcel Duchamp. Many people admit to feeling surprised or even disappointed when they see the Mona Lisa in person for the first time. The image we've imagined for years as something grand and mysterious turns out to be a relatively small canvas, protected by glass and surrounded by a crowd. Under such conditions, it is difficult to pause and truly observe the work in full detail. Despite this, for over 500 years, the Mona Lisa has remained the most famous portrait in art history. Every year, millions of people visit the Louvre just to see it, a painting written about more than any other in the world. So the question arises, why has this restrained portrait devoid of overt drama achieved such exceptional status? Is it the painting's unusual composition, the artist's innovative techniques, or the stories beyond the canvas that explain its enduring phenomenon? The Mona Lisa is the first psychological portrait in the history of painting. Salvador Dali. If we set aside the museum context and focus solely on the image itself, we see an extraordinary, subtle psychological portrait. Leonardo da Vinci did not aim to impress the viewer with spectacle or luxury. He created a figure that feels alive, internally complex, and intriguingly ambiguous. It is precisely this restraint that draws us in. The painting does not dictate emotions. Instead, it leaves room for careful observation and gradual discovery. In this sense, the Mona Lisa was far ahead of its time. It is believed that Leonardo began working on the portrait around 1503. The painting is traditionally associated with Lisa del Giocondio, the wife of a Florentine merchant. Although there is no definitive proof, Leonardo worked on it for many years, constantly returning to the canvas, making changes, and refining details. In 1517, Leonardo moved to France at the invitation of King Francis I. He brought with him dozens of sketchbooks, and only one completed painting, the Mona Lisa. This highlights the special significance he attached to the work. Leonardo understood its importance. He knew it was a masterpiece. The portrait was never delivered to the original patron, perhaps because over time it ceased to represent a specific woman and became a more generalized image. There are many theories about the identity of the woman on the canvas. A real person, an idolized female figure, a symbolic generalization, or even a hidden self-portrait. Sigmund Freud even suggested that it could be an image of Leonardo's mother. The lack of a definitive answer only adds to the painting's enduring fascination. The Mona Lisa was painted on a poplar wood panel. Leonardo applied thin translucent layers of paint, glazes with minimal amount of pigment, gradually building them up one after another. This created a complex play of light and shadow, giving the painting an inner glow and producing transitions that are exceptionally smooth. He developed the SFUMATO technique, which softens the edges of shapes and allows colors to blend seamlessly, creating subtle tonal gradations and almost imperceptible to the naked eye. He also employed chiaroscuro, which enhances the sense of volume through contrast of light and shadow. These innovative methods give the painting its three-dimensional illusion and make the image remarkably vivid. The Mona Lisa is silence looking at us. Octavio Paz. Today, Mona Lisa's pose seems natural, but at the beginning of the 16th century, it was revolutionary. Women had previously been depicted statically and distantly, often with their gaze averted. In contrast, Mona Lisa sits relaxed, turned towards the viewer, her eyes meeting ours directly. This creates a sense of intimate contact and inner confidence, a quality typically reserved for male portraits of the era. The absence of pronounced light reflections in her eyes enhances this effect, giving many viewers the impression that she is watching them from the canvas, no matter the angle. Leonardo employs pyramidal composition typical of the Renaissance, placing the figure in a three-quarter pose, a choice that was so unusual for female portraits. Mona Lisa's clothing is simple, without adornments or symbols of high status, further directing attention to her face and highlighting its expression in psychological depth. The absence of eyebrows and eyelashes, lost over time through cleaning and restoration, intensifies this focus. In this way, Mona Lisa's contemplative calm seems to break the fourth wall, while Leonardo da Vinci himself challenges the traditional artistic canons of his time. At the time, portraits were usually painted against neutral backgrounds, an open sky, a simple room, or a monochromatic space. In contrast, the Mona Lisa appears before a complex imaginary landscape, likely created by Leonardo specifically for this composition. The background gradually becomes more blurred and indistinct as it recedes, and the colors grow cooler. an example of aerial perspective which Leonardo developed to create a sense of space and depth. The wavy lines of her hair and clothing echo the shapes of valleys and rivers, visually connecting humanity with nature, a key theme for Leonardo. Even the details of the landscape seem to extend the figure, reinforcing her connection to the earth. The slightly shifted horizon line does not align perfectly with her evenly depicted shoulders, creating a subtle optical tension. The brain attempts to reconcile the discrepancy, producing the illusion of the movement, as if the figure is gently shifting position. This effect is unique to painting, where perspective, light, and shadow remain consistent regardless of the viewer's angle. Leonardo's approach demonstrates his deep understanding of human perception, showing that his experiments went far beyond simply adding a dynamic background. You have probably noticed this detail before. She seems to be smiling, yet at the same time she is not. Leonardo famously said, "Painting is a science, the daughter of nature," a phrase often cited to explain his conceptual approach to the Mona Lisa. The secret of her enigmatic smile is not a trick of illusion or imagination. It lies in the peculiarities of human vision. Neurophysiologist Margaret Livingston explained the central vision excels at recognizing fine details, while peripheral vision is more sensitive to shadows but less precise with contours. Leonardo exploited this by strategically placing shadows around her mouth. When we look into Mona Lisa's eyes, her lips fall into peripheral vision, and the shadows create the impression of a distinct smile. When our gaze shifts directly to her mouth, the effect diminishes, and the smile appears faint and almost absent. The subtle effect was made possible by Leonardo's in-depth anatomical and optical research. He studied facial muscles and nerves, the mechanics of smiling, and the principles of vision, understanding over 500 years ago that light is perceived across the entire retina, not at a single point. The change in expression does not occur on the canvas itself, but in our perception, a masterful demonstration of his genius. Despite its artistic perfection, the Mona Lisa did not become an icon immediately. Its fame grew gradually, through royal collections, publications by art historians, and the Louvre's rise as a national museum. After Leonardo's death, the painting was purchased by French King Francis I. In 1550, Giorgio Vasari cemented its place in public consciousness in his biography, a famous Italian Renaissance artist, describing Da Vinci's portrait as a hypnotic reproduction of life. Over time, the Mona Lisa became one of the most treasured works of the French crown, even hanging in Napoleon's bedroom, before eventually being housed in the Louvre. Interest in the painting continued to grow throughout the 19th century, but the real breakthrough came in 1911 following its theft. The disappearance of the Mona Lisa from the Louvre turned into a global sensation. Newspapers reported on it daily, and crowds flocked to see the empty space on the gallery wall. Pablo Picasso was even among the suspects, due to his connection to a previous theft at the museum. But the culprit was not identified until 2 years later. The painting had been stolen by Vincenzo Parigi, an Italian decorator who briefly worked as a glazier at the Louvre. Parigi considered himself a patriot, attempting to return the work to Italy, but he was arrested while trying to sell it to a Florentine art dealer. After its return, Mona Lisa gained a level of recognition that could never be diminished. An important key to understanding the original is the Mona Lisa from the Prado, the oldest known copy, created at the same time as the masterpiece by one of Leonardo's students. Better preserved than the Louvre's version, it reveals details of the original landscape that have faded over time. Researchers believe both paintings were executed in parallel, from slightly different angles, and that the landscape may have been a separate painting against which the model posed. In this sense, the Prado version is not merely a copy, but another window into the creation of a masterpiece, perhaps even offering a glimpse of what time has erased from Leonardo's original. Today protected by bulletproof glass and covered with yellowed varnish, the Mona Lisa is regarded as an almost untouchable museum icon, one of the most valuable and simultaneously priceless works of art in the world. Yes, in 1962, it was insured for $100 million, which adjusted for inflation, which is roughly $3 billion today. Yet its significance goes far beyond status or record-breaking value. It is the product of one of history's most inquisitive minds, a painting that seamlessly combines art, science, and profound observation of human nature. Leonardo did not simply create a portrait, he created an image with inner life. Before the Mona Lisa, artists depicted appearance, but rarely presence. Here we encounter not just a subject, but a living person, breathing, expressive, and imbued with a soul. Standing before it, we see not only a face, but concentrated knowledge and experience of a genius who transformed a portrait into a meditation on what it means to be human. Beyond names, versions, and copies, the Mona Lisa became a symbol of a revolution in art. This is why it remains a touchstone for discussions about vision, presence, the gaze, and our response to it. Leonardo may have worked on the painting for 16 years, but in truth its creation spanned his entire life, a life devoted to anatomical, optical, scientific, and artistic exploration. Its worldwide fame was later amplified by theft, optical experiences, and legendary stories. Even without these events, it would have been remarkable. Through perhaps less iconic and widely known, sometimes we only truly recognize the value of something when it's lost. The Mona Lisa represents an encounter between Leonardo's genius and the viewer's attention. Its greatness exists not only on the canvas, but in the interaction with those who engage with it. And it is in this personal encounter that is enduring, timeless value emerges. The mystery of the Mona Lisa lies not in what she depicts, but in how we look at her. Ernst Gombrich. If you found this interesting, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. In the comments, let me know, have you seen the Mona Lisa in person, and what does it mean to you? A genius masterpiece or a fortunate coincidence in history? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.